we have to live in the household. Baba has never told us to be a sannyasi. Baba has never told us to leave the household, leave the job, leave everything. Baba has never told that. But Baba says that you have to live in the household, but it is not that you don't have to take any precaution. It's not that you have to just live in the household like everybody lives. You have to take some precaution in the household. And what is the precaution? So today Baba is underlining that you should not eat food prepared by those who do not practice purity. So Baba says that, let me read that out first. Baba says, while doing everything and interacting with everyone, be very cautious about your food. Don't eat food prepared by impure human beings. Continue to protect yourself. Don't become renunciates of action, but definitely do take precautions. You are Karmyogis. While doing everything, stay in remembrance of the Father, and your sins will be absolved. Now let's understand these things very clearly. So Baba says that don't eat food prepared by impure human beings. Who is an impure human being? So everybody is an impure human being, but we souls are practicing to be on the path of purity. So we are making effort to be on the path of purity. And then there are others who don't even know the difference between purity and impurity. And obviously they are not on the path to be pure, or they are not making any effort to be pure. So Baba says that you don't have to eat food prepared by those souls who are not making effort to be pure. And why? Because you see that in Hindi it is said, Jaisa Anna Vaisa Man. Yes. And when you eat food which is prepared by someone who doesn't practice purity, then your mind also starts creating thoughts and feelings which are similar to the thought and feeling of the person who is preparing it. Now you think about it. As a soul, my biggest assets are my man, buddhi and sanskar. Yes, I have these three organs through which I do everything. And these are my, these are my instruments, or this is my sena, this is my army. So I win or lose the battle with Maya based on this army. So I use my buddhi, I use my mind, I use my sanskar to win this battle over Maya. And if one of my soldiers, my mind, is made weak by just not taking care of this one dharana, then that mind will deceive me at the right time. So it is very important that my mind, my buddhi, my sanskar are on the right side. They are with me they are with my aim, they are with Baba, they are according to Baba's Srimad. But if we eat food prepared by those who don't practice purity, then my mind gets affected by that. And also my buddhi gets affected by that, because the thought process, the vibrations of the food that we eat starts influencing that. Now, let me give you a very simple example. So, there is this brother, and he is into Gyan, and he was once sharing an incident with me. So he said that, Didi, when before Gyan, I and my wife didn't have very good relationship, and I did not have basically respect for women, and I also treated her very badly in the early years of my marriage. But then my wife came into Gyan, and then I also came into Gyan with her. And slowly, gradually, the perception, the form of the relationship changed a lot. And we were like, because of Baba's grace, I learned how to respect another soul. I learned how to see her as not a female, but as a soul. And I started, and my prejudice against females, which was always overpowering my basic sense of respect for human beings, that I could overcome. And I started respecting her as a human being, and the relationship became much, much better. And then he told me that although I am in Gyan and I try to follow Baba's Srimad and everything, but I was not that, that strict, or I was not that powerful enough to follow everything, because it was very initial years in Gyan. I had only been in Gyan for 1.5 years. And then what happened, I went to my sister's place, and my Lokik sister's place. This brother went to the sister's place, and both the Yugal, the husband and wife, they went to the sister's place. And then what happened was, there also my wife would cook food, offer bhog to Baba and eat it. And I somehow did not choose to do that. I felt that my mother, who was also present there, and my sister would mind if I did that. And if I did that, then maybe they would not like it. So I just ate food prepared by them. That's all I did. It's not like I missed the Murli, it's not like I did anything else. And I kept doing it for 11 days. And then suddenly on the 11th day, I slapped my wife after many years. There was this incident, and when that happened, and it's not like I had not slapped her in the past, it had happened many times, but ever since I had come to Gyan, I could see things differently. I was a different person, I was behaving differently. And when I started eating food there, then everything that was happening there, everything that they were telling me, all the discussions, conversations, everything that my mother and sister were doing, it started having an influence on my mind. Earlier also, when I was here, they used to call me, those same things used to happen. But then I did not react this way. But there on the 11th day, and I will tell you, for those 11 days, my wife behaved like a deity. She never even picked a fight with me. She never even, objected to something I was saying. But I don't know, the rage only grew and grew and grew, and on the 11th day I just slapped her. And then I had made the tickets to be back on the 15th day, but I just suddenly realized that there is something wrong going on, and then I immediately booked my tickets and we came back. And I have just come from the, from the station, and I've come to the center, and I want to know what is the difference that happened, because I was doing Amrit Vela, I was reading the Murli, but why so much of difference in behavior and attitude and everything, and why suddenly this kind of a shift? So I told him, it's the food. It's the food. And do you know that, in the world also, when people want to influence you in any way, they mix something with the food. It's always the food. Food is a very old method. And Baba says that this is it's not that they mixed something in the food. That's not what I'm implying here. I'm saying that, when somebody has hatred in their heart, when somebody has violence in their, in their mind and in their being, and then they cook food with that violence, that hatred, then you also start creating those same thoughts based on eating food prepared by them. And this mechanism is so subtle that it's very until Baba reveals it to us, we can never on our own come to realize that this is why things are happening the way they are happening. So Baba says that always know that the thoughts, the state of mind, the belief systems of the one who is preparing food will affect you. And now you are on Srimad, your mind is working differently, and if you eat food by those who are not on Srimad, then definitely that will have an effect on your man and buddhi, and then on your karam, and then on your destiny. So whatever will have an influence on your man and buddhi will also influence your karam, and it will also influence your destiny. So Baba tells us this, Baba gives us this cautionary note. So in the Murli, Baba gives us teachings, Baba gives us understandings, and then Baba gives us caution also. So this is a cautionary note that Baba gives us, and Baba tells us, when you don't eat food prepared by impure human beings, you continue to protect yourself. Now, what is this thing about protecting ourselves? So we have to understand that sometimes, we tell ourselves, or, this is a conditioning in bhakti for 63 births, that I have to protect myself from the other, or I have to protect myself against the other. But the truth is that anybody outside or anything outside is as powerful as you are weak. So their power is inversely proportional to your, is directly proportional to your weakness. So if you're very weak, they are very powerful. If you're little weak, they are little powerful. So Baba says that you must understand that you don't have to put down anybody, you don't have to defeat anybody, you don't have to defeat any situation. You just have to become more powerful than that internally. And What powers does the soul have? The power of the mind, the power of buddhi, and the power of divine sanskars. So, as much my mind is pure, as much my buddhi is accurate, as much as my divine sanskars are emerged, I will never be able to be defeated by anyone or anything. So, challenges will come, but those challenges will not be able to, to put you down, or they will not be able to stop you. They will not be able to make you change your course if your mind, your buddhi, and your sanskars are on your side. But if your mind, your very mind, is working against you, if your mind is creating thoughts about the other, if your buddhi is empowering a situation through focusing on it, and if your own sanskars are making you do vikarma, then who can protect you? Can anybody protect you? No. So let me put this very simply. Anything happening there is not your problem. What's happening here is your problem. Yes, because what's happening here is what is the basis of your karma, and your karma is the basis of your destiny. But the thing is, when you don't understand that you can protect your mind from what's happening outside there, and you can continue to create thoughts based on Srimad, then what you do is you project the external situation. If it is negative, it is fear inducing, you project it just like that inside. And then you start creating those thoughts, you start reacting to it, you start behaving differently, you start changing your actions, you start changing your routine, and that is when Maya defeats you. And okay, we understand that I have power. Okay, I understand that if something is happening outside, I don't need to think about it. It's okay as an understanding. But you don't only need understanding, you need power also. And if you are eating food prepared by low consciousness souls, souls who are engaging in negativity, then your mind will not have the power, you the soul will not have the power to disengage from the external situation and think independently, or not focus on that situation. Because you don't just need understanding. Understanding Baba is giving. Every understanding, we are getting Gyan. But why do we also get directions for lifestyle? Because our lifestyle determines our state of power. What I hear, what I see, what I eat, what I read, it will influence my thinking. These are laws. So we need to understand that just reading the Murli, so when we listen to the Murli, of course that which we never knew we now know. That which we never were aware of, now we know. That's one big aspect of the Murli. But the thing is, if you listen to the Murli and you know what is right, what is wrong, what you need to do, what you don't need to do, but if you don't have the power, you will still do the same thing. So that's why Baba says, for power you need yog, you need dharana. And these things are part of dharana, lifestyle. So, the sthul dharana, what we call the physical dharana. So, Baba says the physical dharana of eating pure food, not listening to gossip, not listening to, defamation, not listening to bad words, not listening to news which people are creating for commercial purposes. So, everything in the world is, so do you understand that everything that is created these days, whether it is audio, whether it is visual, it is created with a purpose. So it is serving somebody's interest. And Baba says, if you listen to that, then you will be weaned away from the truth. If you see stuff that people are creating for their own selfish interest, they have an interest in creating it. But when you consume it, you fall prey to their interest. So Baba says that you must understand these things: listening, seeing, eating, reading, everything, posting, everything has to be pure. It has to be pure karma. And Baba says that if you don't pay attention to these things, then you will know I should do this, shouldn't do this, but you will not be able to do it. So this is why Baba says, if you want to protect yourself from Maya defeating you, then you must pay attention to these dharana. And then the most important thing that Baba says, be a Karmyogi. Pay attention to being in yoga, being in remembrance of the Father. Only then will your sins be absolved. So another big power that we need, dharana ki shakti we obviously need, but we need power of yoga also. So Baba says at every step, be a Karmyogi. Whatever you are doing, do it in remembrance of Baba. So this also Baba tells today. And then today in the Murli, Baba says that you are Trikaldarshi, you have the conch and you have the Swadershan Chakra. But your images, so just imagine a picture of you with the third eye, with the conch in one hand and the Swadershan Chakra in another. So is that okay if we create a picture of ourselves like that today? So Baba says, that's the reality today. You have the conch shell, you have the Swadershan Chakra, and you don't have it in the hand, you have it in the buddhi, and then you also have a third eye through which you are seeing the three aspects of time. But Baba says, although it is your reality, your pictures don't have it. The pictures of deities are shown these ornaments. Why? Because Baba says that just like, when you are in college, then you're studying, but you don't get the title while studying. You get the title after you pass out. Yes, so when you're studying, but then when you pass out, you get the title. So Baba says, you are still an effort maker. So your pictures don't have these alankars. Your complete forms, the deity forms, will be given these alankars. So this is something. And then today Baba says something very interesting which I mostly think about. So I will read that out to you. Baba says, without the Satguru who grants everyone salvation, there is extreme darkness. There are many gurus in Bharat. Each woman's husband is her guru. So why is there so much degradation? So, people say that where there is a guru, there is satgati. There is light and might. But then there are so many gurus in Bharat, and then every woman is also told that your husband is a guru, is your guru, and then Baba says still there is so much degradation in Bharat. Baba says, why they say that everyone is a form of God, I am God. So with whom should there be yoga? Now you see, you ask any layman on the street, what is yoga? They know it is plus, addition. Yes, yog in Hindi means plus, addition. Now in order to add, you need two. You have to have yoga with someone. And if you are yourself God, then who are you having yoga with? So who is the second one you are having yoga with? So Baba says this is so logical. In that case, devotion would also end, because you're yourself God, then whose bhakti are you doing? So to whom are you calling out when you say, oh God? For whom are you making spiritual endeavor? God himself would not fall ill. However, there is no one to ask these questions. And I want to talk about this thing, what Baba says, no one is there to ask these questions. And I sometimes feel, that we have this culture, and Baba says why people don't ask these questions is they are afraid that they will perhaps be cursed. When we are children, we have many questions, and then slowly, gradually, we stop asking them. As children, we keep asking them also, but slowly, gradually, we stop asking them, because there is something within us that stops us from asking relevant questions. And what is it that stops you from asking relevant questions? So, do you understand that there are some questions which are relevant, which need to be asked? And I'm not just talking about spiritual matters. In a family, in a society, in everywhere. So, there are certain questions which need to be asked, but we never ask them because of fear. We have this fear of asking questions. Fear that, somebody will get annoyed, fear that we will be cursed. And these fears, they stop us from asking questions, and because nobody questions these things, nobody questions these belief systems, nobody questions these practices. This is why these evil practices, these false belief systems, they keep getting propagated. Yes, so this is the thing, people always complain about negativity increasing in the world. But the thing is, positive people are full of fear. And people who are negative are propagating it like anything. So Baba says, you cannot be afraid. If you are afraid that you will be cursed, if you are afraid that somebody will be displeased, and you don't ask questions, then how will answers come? How will the shift happen? And don't be afraid to ask relevant questions. This is something that I have always held on to in life. So when you see something which doesn't make sense to you, which challenges your sensibility, you see somebody being mistreated, you see something which you don't understand or something you don't agree with, question it. Question it. I am not asking you to solve it. You cannot solve anything, but start asking questions. When you ask questions, then the sensibilities are activated. The questions are food for thought. You start making people think. And this thing about respectfully questioning, whatever the other person is doing or saying, if you just respectfully question, you don't have to question disrespectfully. It's just a question you are asking. You can respectfully question, and when you respectfully question, then things get better. Sometimes you will ruffle somebody's ego, sometimes something will happen, but still, if you go on, then solutions will come. And Baba says, if you yourself cannot deal with your fears, you cannot deal with your fear of losing your position, you cannot deal with your fear of the consequences that come with asking questions, you fear your social image getting disturbed. If you are full of fear, then how will you change the world? Because the world is changed when you understand, and then you respectfully question, and then the other thing also happens. And I will tell you one thing, in my experience, in this life as a Brahmin, somebody comes with some belief system, they come with something, they give you an idea. Sometimes somebody will come and they say that whatever gyan you people teach is wrong. Okay, let's start with this. So somebody comes and just tells you that the gyan that you're teaching is wrong. Okay, then what do? You don't get defensive about it. You know what is right, what is wrong. Then you start asking them, okay, which part of it do you feel is wrong? And what is it that you think about it? And then you also start questioning, if it is like this, then please answer this for me. And then, slowly, gradually, they will come to that place where they say, I think you're right. I never thought like this. I never thought like this. I've heard this phrase so many times. बात तो आप सही कह रहे हो, हमने तो सोचा ही नहीं ऐसा. बात तो आप सही कह रहे हो, हमने सोचा ही नहीं कभी ऐसा. So you think about it that when you respectfully question, it becomes a food for thought, and then that food for thought leads to the truth, because Baba is doing his job here. So Baba is the light, the might, Baba is here, Baba is in Sangam Yug, Baba is doing his job. You just have to become a right hand. But Baba says, you have to face your fears actually. Why we don't ask questions is not because of somebody else. It's because of our own fears. And how do you get over your fears? So once Janki Dadi said this very beautifully, and I cannot forget that moment. She said, डर लगता है तो अच्छे कर्म करो. If you have fear in your heart, only good karma can make you overcome those fears. Yes, and what is good karma? Get up in the morning, remember Baba. Amrit Vela, remembrance of Baba, very good karma. Remembering Baba all through the day, in every action. Purity of thought, body, mind, wealth, everything, pure good action. Doing seva, good action, good karma. So Baba says, if you remember me, if you imbibe knowledge, if you practice purity, if you do seva, slowly you will overcome your fears. And Baba says, you will not be cursed if you ask questions. You are cursed by Ravan. So Baba says, It is vices that curse you. Nobody can mess with your fortune. Why are you afraid? No human being can curse you. No human being can, no human being can make sure anything wrong happens to you. It is Ravan that curses you. What does it mean when Baba says Ravan curses you? Only when Ravan is able to drag you into doing pap karma, that pap karma is your curse. Nothing else is your curse. So just pay attention to your thought, word and action and remove Ravan's influence from it. That is what curses your life. It's not if you ask questions or if you follow Shrimat, or if you are afraid to do something which is based on Shrimat, that fear is not right. So Baba says this thing, and then Baba also tells us that Baba will show you many things in the end. Then those who haven't studied well will become very desperate. At the end, when you come to know that I didn't study and this is why I didn't create my fortune, you will become very desperate. What could be done then? But can you do anything at the end? Have you seen children who don't study all year and then say, I'm feeling suicidal when the result comes? So you can't do anything after the result comes. So there was this one child and he came and he told me, his mother said, I'm very afraid my child is having suicidal tendencies. So I asked him, so it's a very interesting scene. He was sitting across me and I asked him, why do you want to commit suicide? He said, I got very bad marks. So I said, didn't you know you will get these marks? So he started laughing. He said, I knew. So I said, why commit suicide today then? So then he started laughing. So, they all know what they are doing. But you also need to ask them the right questions. Yes, so why commit suicide after the result? Didn't you know what you have written? Didn't you know that you were loitering around all year? So this is what you'll get. It's okay, deal with it, not the end of the world. Get over it, move on. People will laugh at you, face it. If you have done something, face it. So this is what. So Baba says that when the end comes, nothing to do. So Baba says, make as much effort as you want now. You have to look after your children, etc. You mustn't become cowards. Follow Shrimat at every step. This is not a path of escapism. It's not like you don't want to look after children, so you come into give. No. Don't be a coward. You have to deal with everything. You have to deal with all the nonsense in the world and all the nonsense that Maya creates. And Baba says, don't be a coward, don't run away from everything. Follow Shrimat at every step. That's the only solution. Continue to remember the Father, that's all. It is this that requires effort. And Baba says, the power of knowledge and power of yoga will help you conquer Maya and become the masters of the world. Okay, if you run away, so there is this very beautiful rule. If you run away from something, it runs after you. So you can't run away from anything. What you do is, you follow Shrimat, accumulate power of knowledge, power of yoga, and take every step according to that. Okay, Om Shanti.